up, warriors? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing some brief overview of Infowars and the Alex Jones show. Just showing some clips that I've collected from over the months that I've been watching recently. Really, this would take years to compile everything that truly shows that this production not only a psychological operation, one meant to deceive and to cast confusion, but it's also being put on to spellcast. Um, I believe that Alex Jones is highly involved in witchcraft and could be a warlock or whatever. He's definitely a practicing um, magician of the dark arts or magic, and that goes along with his other buddies, Joe Rogan or um, Steve Bannon or any of these other guys that are kind of hired on to do these jobs. They're hired on to be spellcasters, to draw you in and get a lot of listeners. And when you're listening, there's these barriers that are put up in your mind, and there are these thoughts that are possessing you without you maybe even realizing it. Alex Jones, as annoying as he can be sometimes, as stupid as he can be sometimes, he's a funny dude and he is entertaining, and I will give him that. But it's only because he's been taught and well rehearsed in these type of things. He is trained to be this way. He is not just organically that kind of person. Like maybe he is. Maybe that's why they put him in his position. But what I mean is, it doesn't come from a place of um, genuine, good lightheartedness and fun and all that other stuff. It comes from a place of needing to manipulate and to take hold of other people's attention and other people's um, thought processes. And what I'm going to point out in these little clips that um, I have cut down for you and put into this video are the ways that they have subliminal uh, little things added in there, like not just the imagery at the beginnings of the shows that kind of let you know, like this is something weird. This is something that if they were really worshiping the true God or Jesus or the Christian values that we all know to be true, if they were really doing that, they wouldn't have those kind of imageries in the beginning of their programs, because it's blatantly satanic, blatantly worshiping something else other than God. And I mean, none of us are perfect, but to do it completely over and over again. So that's just what I wanted to point out in these clips. I actually made a call into Infowars
Scenes before they actually put them out into circulation. I feel like they could be doing some kind of like satanic rituals, or some kind of weird like sorcery, because pharmakia obviously is a form of witchcraft, and obviously there's big pharma. So I believe that they could be they could be doing some kind of ritual or something over all these vaccines before they put them out, and it's causing people to act. Are they demonically possessed through these injections, or how are they going to act? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, the vaccine, I guess, can best be described, or the most accurate understanding of it is as some sort of sacrament, right? It's like a communion or a baptism into.
And talk to Harrison Smith, one of the hosts of the American Journal in the Morning, and made some comments. And he didn't seem against them, but he didn't seem too interested in them. I'm pretty sure these guys are into all that magic and spell casting stuff, just to captivate the audience and maybe drive a narrative. So we'll look into these clips, and I hope you enjoy. And as always, go in peace.
Globalists would do, which they're preparing to do again. We've got major breaking exclusive intel. But first, here's a clip. This is the end of everything. It's never coming back. The prosperity's never coming back. It's all over. And they're going to, by increments, put the pressure on, get you to give up more rights, and then they'll take a little pressure off. And then they'll tell you, give up more rights, and then pressure will be taken off. But then always it'll be put back on even tighter. That's the psychology of this takeover. So they're going to hit us with different waves of bio attack over the years, locking us down tighter each time. And they're also going to squeeze us through the educational system. Our jobs are going to tighten down the restrictions, loosen them by the summer, and then release new strains immediately that aren't even as bad as the current strain. They'll say they're worse, fearmonger, and then clamp down even stronger. Emergency broadcasts on this Friday, August 18th, 2023. Federal officials raise alarm that the Biden administration is preparing new rollout of COVID restrictions. Let's read the article. Biden administration preparing to bring back full COVID restrictions, rollout to begin mid-September. TSA and Border Patrol whistleblowers have alerted Infowars of a Biden administration plot to unleash a full COVID lockdown that will only begin with an incremental rollout in September. And I wrote that. We probably change it to lockdown that will start with an incremental rollout in September. We can stop this. Never let the establishment control the masses with fear again. Whistleblowers from TSA and Border Patrol have raised the alarm to Infowars that the Biden administration is setting the stage for full COVID lockdowns that will begin with incremental restrictions like masking TSA employees in mid-September. And official COVID numbers will go back up because they control the PCR test, and they expect by mid-October to return to forced masking policies that the Biden administration previously only reluctantly ended after mass pressure. And again, I wrote this with one of the writers right before the show. I'm going to read the rest of it, but now that I'm reading it here on air, because this was a rush this morning, we need to add the point that in mid-September, they're being told TSA wears masks again and airport employees. And then by mid-October, they go back to the pilots, the stewardesses, the flight attendants, and everyone at the airport, everyone on the planes, mandatory mask. So that's the key here. And then it just, by mid-October, everyone wears them. It's here. This is round two. They've told the feds it's happening. But that is all just one part of the equation. This audience is informed. Are we going to sit here and let them do this to us again? We need civil disobedience. We need people protesting now. Don't wait till they roll this out. Say, we don't want new lockdowns. Don't wait till they roll this out. Say, we don't want new lockdowns. We need to get more on the offense and let them know that we're aware of what they've done. Because as sure as the sun came up this morning, they want lockdowns into next year to have mail-in ballots again to steal the election as their insurance policy over at Trump, who they've indicted 4 times. In some cases, they were 99% for Joe Biden. Who believes that? U.S. Postal Service whistleblowers, USPS.
I don't know. I don't know how you are so short-sighted to think that what's happening here is some sort of game. Think that you think Trump is in on this? You think Trump is not the real deal? I mean, you hear the same things about Infowars, which is why it's so annoying to hear this, where it's just like, you're under attack from the most powerful forces in the entire world. You are left with a seemingly hopeless situation in which you can't vote your way out of it, but you sure as hell can't fight your way out of it. You're not about to go to war with the most powerful and invasive deep state spy apparatus and military institution the world has ever seen. So, I mean, what's the hope here? To be under attack like this, and then to have people like blame you for it, have people claim that this is somehow a big charade, that like things are not as they seem. It's just like sometimes, folks, things are just as they seem. Sometimes, like what other outcome would you expect if you have a true outsider? If Trump is the real deal and actually an outsider, actually a threat to the establishment, actually represents a populist uprising against the entrenched deep state unelected globalists that run our country, how would you expect things to roll out? Because I would expect things to roll out exactly as they are rolling out. I mean, I've been debating this since 2016 with people going, you really think Trump's the real deal? And it's like, well, let's see. If somebody could represent a threat to the system, who would they have to be? They would have to be super rich so they could fund their own campaign without corporate donors. They'd have to have name recognition across the country already established. They would have to have a network through their, business ties to influential people around the country. I mean, it's Trump. Without Trump, there'd be nobody else that could pose a threat to the establishment like he has. So I don't, it's just like, just play it out in your mind. What would happen if it was a legitimate threat to the establishment versus what would happen if he was somehow playing a part of their game? We know what it's like when he plays a part of their game because, well, Barack Obama would be a good example of that. Claimed to, be a lot of the same things Trump was, right? Claimed that he would stop the wars, claimed that he would stop the abuses of the federal government on the American people. Then he gets into office and he just becomes a hero of the establishment as he conforms completely to the deep state agenda and carries it out more effectively than almost anybody else before him. If Trump was not the real deal, that's what would have happened. Do you think the FBI likes being exposed like this? Do you think they like having everybody realize that they are completely fraudulent and fabricate FISA warrants and lie about really important things during presidential elections to benefit one candidate over another? Like, do you think they like being exposed like this? That's all part of the plan. Some things are just as they seem sometimes. I don't understand why that's so hard for people to understand. In other cases, I don't understand, like, the vaccine thing, man. It's like, where were you in 2020? Were you around? Were you paying attention? You know that every time Trump got up and took credit for the vaccine, we at Infowars, knowing long ahead of anybody how dangerous the vaccine was, what a obvious plot the whole thing was, and Trump would get up and take credit for it, and nobody cared because it wasn't actually him. He was taking credit for something he actually had nothing to do with. Nobody knew that. Everybody's forgotten that, apparently. Okay. The only thing he did when it comes to the vaccine is he stopped them from withholding it until Biden got into office. That's all he did. Nothing else would have changed. Nothing else would have been different, except that America would have been several months further down the line of economic destruction as people were too scared to go back to work without a vaccine. Something that Trump didn't do, that the mainstream media did. Trump the entire time was telling people, don't be scared of the virus. Don't shut down your state. Don't stop working. Again, it's bizarre. It is truly bizarre. People's interpretation of what's going on in the world. It's completely divorced from reality. But that's fine.
You wanted to get more into Elon Musk last segment.
Yeah, so I had this epiphany. I think I saw a video on TikTok or something of that nature that inspired the thought. Elon Musk claims that he bought Twitter and make it a free speech platform, and I don't think that's entirely false. But I also think that he is seeking to be a major competitor of OpenAI, which of course is the organization that's responsible for ChatGPT, a lot of these advancements in artificial intelligence. And in order to create an artificial intelligence that's unbiased, you have to give it data that's unbiased as an input. So my theory is that he bought Twitter to try to make it a more free speech platform.
Sure, as an AI trainer.
Yep, so that he can make a competitor to the work that OpenAI is doing, Microsoft's doing, the government's doing. That's actually an honest AI. That's what I hope the outcome is. But I've been really thinking about that for the last couple of weeks, and I think that's something to be considered.
Well, I call AI the ultimate plagiarist and the ultimate copyright infringement thing, and I'm not a big copyright hawk, but the point is you can go and get, oh my gosh, Charlton Heston, and it's not perfect yet, but it's getting close. Charlton Heston can read our ads now.
Yeah, we got you pretty good.
That'd be pretty good. We don't call it Charlton Heston, though. That's when it becomes an issue. But we can go program it Charlton Heston and then have Charlton Heston, do our hosting.
Or Rod Sterling as well. We've had Rod Sterling's voice, an image on a couple of the ads. Jim Morrison on one of the ads as well.
And so in a way, it steals their identity, but also brings them back from the dead.
Exactly. And I've been focusing on icons with some of the content because I don't want to, hack off anybody who's still alive or operating. But
what about the new Paul Harvey one?
I didn't make that one, but I was impressed hearing it, and I'm inspired to create some more.
I love Paul Harvey's voice.
It's very cool. It's almost like an Art Bell thing, too. I'd like to do an Art Bell angle, too.
Oh, man. So, keep going, because I've got a lot of questions, but on Elon Musk, people need to understand the fact that he has to sound like us and do a bunch of good things, judge a tree by its fruits. Whether he's evil or whether he's agnostic or whether he's a bad guy or whether he's a good guy, the fact that he's having, again, to sound like us means we're winning. And the work he's doing now is only going to be good. We should criticize the bad he does and support the good he does.
I think so. And one of the fascinating things to me about Elon Musk specifically is so many of us, especially in the middle class, we do things because we have to do them, right? We work jobs that we don't want to work because we have to pay our bills. And when you're someone like Elon Musk and you're worth hundreds of billions of dollars, everything you do at that point is like another degree of freedom. It's because you want to for some reason, whether it's because you want more power or more money. But in the case of Elon Musk, he's not a materialistic person. He's already as famous as seems possible on the planet. There's not really a lot of motive for him to do anything.
It seems like he got super famous to become the good guy.
Yes.
That's what I want to believe in him.
That's what I want to believe too.
And it's almost like the Greek analogy of the gods. If you believe in them, they exist. Maybe if we support him and believe in him as a good guy, he will be one. Or maybe if we don't support him and he fails, he'll turn back. I mean, I think there's an opportunism there, but I think he'd rather be the hero.
Why do you think it is that he won't let you back on Twitter?
I understand it. When I say this, I'm not bragging because I wasn't that important. Starting about 7 years ago, right when Trump was about to win, it'd be like 100 articles a day, and it'd be like 400 a day, and they'd syndicate them. So I would get Google alerts, sometimes 20,000 articles. That was a few times, but a lot of times 5,000, 10,000 a day. Because they take one AP article and put it in 5,000 papers. It was always in the local paper every day attacking. You turn on local news attacking. They were like attacking the archetypal image of the populist. And they were basically just testing it to say, can we destroy this guy? Not because it was me, but because it was the archetype. And so I knew they were building it up towards something. What was your question?
Why he kicked you off Twitter.
So imagine this battery of anti-populism, take this image of populism, pro-human freedom, misrepresent what I stand for, what I've said, what I've done, create this straw man, create this alternate universe, this stolen identity, and then use that stolen Alex Jones against the populist movement. They were scared that I was going to reach more people. They wanted to inoculate them against me. But more importantly, they wanted to just set the precedent to get people to accept censorship so that once they accepted my censorship, they would accept everybody else's, which they bragged about. And then they later said, we'll use the Alex Jones system on Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, everybody else. So some days, tens of thousands of articles.
As stated before, that's only part of the footage that I have collected over the past few months. I'm doing this further, but for now, that is where I'm going to leave.